We're going to pan fry some chicken wings tonight. So just before we get started, I wanted to show you something. You can, now this chicken's already been washed and everything, but you can take these and fold that back, or you can just cut the little wing tip off like that. That's the way I like to do it. Then it's not coming unfolded and springing apart in the pan like it's trying to fly out. Okay, I've got some flour, and I'm going to drop a little in there. Ooh, this oil is good and hot. And I'm going to put some seasoned salt on these wings. Remember, they've already been washed. Some pepper. Okay. There's nothing in here but flour. Some people, when they cook it, and I made it that way too, use a buttermilk bath. But this is just the way that my family likes it. Just salted pepper, flour, and fry them. Be careful putting them down in there, it'll really get your fingers good. I've got this oil. Of course, normally I'm cooking this on my stove, but I've got this set at about a medium heat. I had it on 5. I turned it down to 4 just now. Although this chicken is going to cool this oil off really fast. I can see it cooling down already. Turn it back up a little bit. Frying temp is usually around 350, but it depends on what you're cooking too. Kind of cook a little bit slower, at least I do, and it gives it time to make those nice crunchies on the outside of it. And I don't want to put any more in there because I don't want to overcrowd the pan, because then what happens is it wants to steam instead of fry. So it's nice to have a little bit of room in between like that. Especially, I've got a family pack of wings. I can't get them all in there anyway, so. Okay, I checked the oil, and it was like 330 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, see how this chicken is browning around the edge, and you can see that? That's how I know this chicken is ready to turn. My mommy used to make wonderful fried chicken, but my mommy didn't make it this way. She made deep fried chicken, and our family would get together, and my mom would have this big kettle out in her backyard with seats all around where everybody could sit and talk and everything and visit. And my mom would have that big kettle going, and she would deep fry that chicken and drop it down that hot oil, and it was delicious. But and I love it. I love it that way. But every time I was around my mom, she would say, "Debbie, fry me some chicken." Because I pan fry mine, and my mom deep fried hers. And my mother-in-law, Shelby, is the one that taught me to pan fry chicken. Now, a funny story is, and I can laugh about it now, but I was only 17 years old when David and I got married, and we're still married 45 years. And I didn't know how to cook anything. And my mom had tried to teach me, but I didn't have any interest in learning how to cook. So here I was, a young bride, trying to figure out how to cook. Well, we literally lived on Hamburger Helper. Not that there's anything wrong with that. If somebody likes Hamburger Helper, but we ate it every day for 2 months. That's all we had. Well, I didn't know my husband was going over to his mother's after dinner so she could fix it. I mean, he would eat with her because my cooking was so terrible. I didn't even want to eat it. But anyway, his mom is the one that showed me how to do this. But the first time that I tried to cook chicken, I bought a whole chicken, no idea how to cut it up. That chicken looked like I slaughtered it. I am not kidding you. You couldn't hardly tell one piece from the other. My brother-in-law, Mark, was over for dinner that night, and he was like probably 13, and bless his heart, the chicken looked really good, okay? Mark tried to bite into a chicken leg, and it was so hard, he wrapped it on the edge of the table. Of course, I started crying because I was so disappointed. But you know what? Those days are over. I know how to fry this stuff now. I know how to cook. I learned. It took me a while. And my husband, bless his heart, he might have snuck over to his mom to get something to eat, but he never said a word about it. He never complained one time. He still doesn't. Whatever I fix and put on that table, he is grateful for. But anyway, so now that's my little cooking story. But my mother-in-law is the one that taught me how to do this. But I lived away from my mom and my dad. Most of my married life I've lived away from them, and they're gone now. They're in heaven, but my mother-in-law taught me how to cook a lot of different things. And my mom was okay with that because she loved Shelby, and Shelby loved her. All right, well, we'll be back in a little bit. Okay, I'm going to put the recipe, exactly how to do all this, on my website at NanaDebbie'sKitchen.com. We have the first batch of this done, and I'm getting ready to put some more in. All right, these are already peppered, so and seasoned. I just kind of put it in. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing or not. I just put it in here, kind of mix it around in there, shake off the excess, and put it in the pan. One time I put some in there, I took that bag and I went like that, shook it all up. Bottom of the bag tore, flour went everywhere. I seem to have a problem with flour. I was telling you guys the other day about baking, making cookies, and it had the mixer up too high and the flour went everywhere. Okay, I'll turn it up a little bit more. You can see how the edges of this chicken is browning, so you can tell that it's ready to be turned. You can always kind of lift it and peek at it too and see. We've got some mashed potatoes on the stove. David, turn those potatoes off, will you? They're probably done. I gotta mash them in a minute. Some potatoes for mashing, and then I've got some zucchini sliced up in spears, and I'm going to be making some fried zucchini sticks to go with this when I'm done. And I'm going to do a video on that too, so you can catch that too. Okay. I like to do that little flip thing. Just a little bit more brown and crunch on it. All right, I'm taking this second batch and last batch of chicken up. It's done. Hey, this is red hot, and it's done. All right, I'm going to do another video in a few minutes, and I'll post it too, but thanks for joining us.